devastating.
It was my home. It was gone. I grieved for 2 weeks.
Homeowners across the country, victims of predatory lenders,
sold to the plaintiff for $100,
now are losing their homes in record numbers.
It's pretty crushing right now.
They're forced to leave the only place they've called home, often for decades.
We've been robbed.
In July 2008, the nationwide foreclosure rate was up 55% over last year. Florida is among the worst, with foreclosures up 140%.
Plaintiff bids $100. Do I hear another bid?
A driving force behind many of these foreclosures, AmeriQuest.
I believe they lied to us. I believe they've cheated us.
What they've done was committed fraud.
Homeowners all over the United States say AmeriQuest agents tricked them into risky, adjustable-rate mortgages, making them believe they were getting stable, fixed-rate loans. Now their interest rates are ballooning, and they're losing their homes or going into bankruptcy in record numbers to try and save them.
AmeriQuest is a bunch of liars and cheaters. They know all along what they were going to do.
We have lost in closing costs and prepayment penalty over $11,000 that this company has cost us.
I really wish I had never got involved with them. I've had to file bankruptcy.
In a year's time, because of AmeriQuest dishonesty, I would lose my home.
Attorneys general in 49 states investigated AmeriQuest's practices. Facing that pressure in 2006, the company agreed to a settlement to refund $295 million to its customers. $295 million may sound like a lot, but not compared to the $1.5 billion in profit it's estimated AmeriQuest made in just 1 year during the height of its abusive tactics. Hundreds of thousands of AmeriQuest customers refused to accept the settlement in protest because it offered them only a few $100s each, and more importantly, left them stuck with the predatory terms they were tricked into.
I'd say it's crap.
It's thievery.
It's just not, it's not right.
Jack and Rita Rame, like so many others, are suffering the consequences of trusting AmeriQuest.
They just kept saying that we're going to get you a better interest rate and your house payment is going to be lower. It wasn't.
So for $116,200.
The company foreclosed and sold their small ranch house in Tampa at public auction.
They can't even comprehend what we have been through emotionally, physically, or financially, because we have invested 30 years financially into this home to have it taken away.
For the next 6 months, if we open a box up there, then I'm going to remember where it was at down here, where it should have been. And it isn't.
When the settlement deal was cut, states around the country were investigating AmeriQuest for misleading high-pressure sales and bait-and-switch tactics. These former AmeriQuest loan officers agreed to come forward to expose the wrongdoing.
Every closing we had really was a bait and switch because you could never get them to the table if you were honest.
You got to tell your customer you have a prepayment penalty on this loan. Where at AmeriQuest, you wouldn't tell them that. You would just kind of hide all that stuff.
The entire system is built to do whatever you can to close as many loans at the highest fee amount as possible.
They tell sordid details of unethical practices, jacked up fees, inflated appraisals, and forged documents.
They would have to cut and paste the credit reports, turn around, white out bankruptcies.
If the client didn't make enough money to qualify for the loan, they would have them go stated and just fill out like they were a gardener, daycare worker, whatever, put it on a piece of paper and sign it. And then they didn't have a business license or anything.
Sometimes there were instances where the borrower felt uncomfortable about signing the stated income letter because they didn't want to lie, and the stated income letter would be filled out later on by the processing staff.
They preyed on people that were desperate, that needed help.
They're always pushing, making money, making money, making money.
It was just corrupt from the inside out.
They would want us to brainwash them into thinking that their credit was so awful, they couldn't get a loan with a broker or a bank, and that this was probably their only choice, and this was going to repair their credit, and they were going to get all this cash out. And usually it put them in a way worse situation. I could see that.
It all left thousands of homeowners with mortgages they couldn't afford and doomed to foreclosure, all while AmeriQuest raked in big dollars.
Typical account executives made anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000 a year. And branch managers $500,000, area managers $800,000 to $1 million, and probably regional managers over $1 million.
Bottom line was just to sell the loan no matter what it took.
It is absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt a way to ruin someone's life.
The techniques AmeriQuest used to lure thousands of borrowers all over the country were part of a disturbing corporate culture.
This one right here was for top producer in the whole company.
Omar Khan was one of AmeriQuest's top guns, and he's got the awards to prove it.
There's only like a handful of people that get this throughout the company.
Fresh out of college, AmeriQuest recruited him to start making money, big money, on the backs of borrowers who are now paying the price.
Well, the culture was that AmeriQuest closed at all costs, regardless of whether there's a benefit for the borrower.
AmeriQuest was known for sparing no expense to promote its business. From sponsoring NASCAR teams,
It's awesome.
I'm an AmeriQuest mortgage specialist.
To superstar concert tours.
Proud sponsor of the American Dream.
Pay off your credit cards.
And those slick commercials. It put that same glitz to work pumping up top loan officers to keep the money rolling in.
Over here we're on a golf course in Grand Walet.
Top producers got an all-expense-paid trip to Hawaii, and it didn't stop with the beauty and adventure of Maui. Add the excitement of this trip to Las Vegas, called the Big Spin. It was complete with a grand stage, Cirque du Soleil, and huge prizes.
Hummers, Mercedes, BMWs, cash prizes, plasma TVs, trips.
Part of a corporate culture that spared no expense for those who delivered. And for those who didn't?
If you don't close, you're going to be written up or fired. I mean, really, there was a minimum quota. If you didn't close 10 loans a month, you were gone.
Omar was with AmeriQuest for 2 years, but now has many regrets.
You're playing with people's futures. At the time, you don't really understand it because obviously the pressure's there to, close at all costs. The pressure came from upper management.
Despite admissions from former employees all over the country of unethical practices and even fraud, none of the top executives of AmeriQuest face serious consequences for the corporate culture they created. All have escaped prosecution.
There's no repercussions for them. There's nothing you could do.
Deanna Critelli, like so many AmeriQuest borrowers, has already lost her home. She now rents the house she once owned.
I think the bottom line is corporate greed. I mean, money is what makes their world go round. They don't care whether I keep my home or not. They just care about the money, and they don't care who pays them, and in what form it comes in at, or how they got to do it to get it.
When there's a foreclosure in a neighborhood like this one, it's estimated every other home in the neighborhood loses at least $10,000 in value. But for families like this, the loss is so much more than just money.
He said, all my friends are here, Mom. What am I going to do?
This banana tree is one thing Rita can't bear to leave behind. It was a present from her brother.
See, I can't get through the root.
No.
They refuse to give up. Part of the frustration, part of the realization they are digging up their family roots.
It's hard. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. I have to stop grieving. I have to go on. You have to go on.
And so they will go on, uprooting their families and suffering the consequences of a greedy corporate culture that made the rich richer and left so many average homeowners with a shattered American dream.